Okay, Stockdale fans, we are back celebrating our senior signings. Another great celebration here. We're joined by Luis Torres, who has signed to run track at Cal Poly Pomona. And we're excited to have you, Luis. Thanks for joining me and speaking with all the Mustang Nation.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So Cal Poly Pomona, let's jump right into it. And a very attractive track school, one of the top Division II schools in the country, really. And you get a chance to go run track there. How did that, in a very tough year, in the pandemic year, where you didn't have very many track meets to go off of this year? Obviously, you got to run last year, but this year has been tough. How did the recruiting process go for you?
Well, if start off, I chose Pomona for non-athletic reasons. Like, I wanted to go there as a student, not just as an athlete. And, obviously the athletics was a bonus to that. So it started, I had the school in mind, and then I talked to Coach Lonsinger, and he helped me get in contact with the coach over there. And then, me, my dad, and the coach, we all started talking and emailing, and ultimately they were like, well, we'll check you out. We'll start looking into, we think you'll be a good addition to our track program, so we're going to check you out. And then it went on from there. And it was a lot easier than expected, but it was just, we had to take that initiative and make the first contact, reach out to them.
Well, I think that's great that you knew where you wanted to go. You had felt that was a good fit for you. And then thus far, you've posted some really impressive times and had some really great results. And I'm sure that helped. So we heard how that relationship started. What to start everything, what attracted you to Cal Poly Pomona?
Well, I want to do chemical engineering. And of course, it's a Cal Poly school. It's a really good engineering school. It's just because when I first applied, it was a pick between that and San Jose State, both really good engineering schools. But upon consideration and doing my own research on the schools and how they operate, Cal Poly Pomona just seemed to have a bit more of a hands-on approach to learning and to preparing the students, and I've always felt I learned better by doing, which is actually the motto for the Cal Poly schools: learn by doing, and that just really attracted me as myself. So I thought it would be a better school for me.
That's great. You just led into what I was going to ask next. What are you going to study? So chemical engineering for us athletes out there that might have, like for me, PE major, I have no idea what that entails. Give me a quick explanation of what chemical engineering is.
Okay, so chemists work in the lab, and they work with elements and the compounds, and they kind of make synthetic resources. Things like plastic. That's a synthetic resource. And so what chemical engineers do is they kind of take those synthetic resources and they find a way to, engineer them into the works, into like industries, and how to use those things. So we're not exactly chemists in the sense that we are actually creating these things, but we understand what these things are, how they're made, and then like how they work. And then we find a way to really utilize them.
I got to be honest with you. You student athletes that I'm surrounded around with at this school just blow me away all the time. So very, very impressive.
Thank you.
So let's talk a little bit about your senior year here at Stockdale, maybe your time here at Stockdale. It was a really tough year with the pandemic, very odd, like we had mentioned before, not a lot of time on campus. However, you were involved with NHS, obviously track as well, and excelled in track extremely well in your few events this year. What memory can you take from Stockdale and take with you, and something you'll talk about later on?
I have a lot to talk about, but in specifically like track and my experience here, it's honestly just the fact that every practice was never really like a chore for me. I never thought, I did sometimes think like, oh, I got to go to practice. I kind of don't want to. But once I'm there, I never really regretted going. It was fun. One, I love what I'm doing, and I love that I'm putting in the work to be better. That's always that's always a great thing. The team, we've always had great people, very, very fun people from when I was a freshman, and the seniors there and the juniors, people who've graduated. I spent 2 years with my brother there, my older brother. So that was really fun. I wouldn't say exactly there's one memory I would pick, but it's just every memory of really going out there and having fun with everyone and all of us just working hard to get better and to make the team great.
That's great. And, I might put you on the spot here a little bit. You got a chance to run underneath Coach Lonsinger for the 4 years you were here. Tomorrow, your meet at Liberty. That'll be Friday. Your meet there will be Coach Lonsinger's last track meet here in town as he's retiring this year. How's it been, running for a guy that's just legendary in this town, Coach Lonsinger?
I mean, he really does put everything into that program. Like I've had experiences where I say, hey, coach, I want to do this event, or I want to try this, or get a hand at doing these kinds of workouts. And he's always been really open. That's one thing that I think has been very, very great about him, is that he's very open to listening to his athletes. And he doesn't just think, I'm the coach, I know what I'm doing, like I'm here to tell you what to do. It's like he takes a lot of feedback, and I think that's really helped him in his 30 plus years of coaching.
35 plus.
35, yeah. So I think that just helped him really excel in that and become, like you said, legendary in this town. And that's something I've always appreciated, is that I feel like I can have input into what I'm doing and how I'm bettering myself.
All right, Luis, you have now fulfilled a lifelong dream, I'm sure, of getting to run at the collegiate level and then getting to go to a top-notch school and study, what you want to study, chemical engineering. You've reached that level. There's some young student athletes that want to get to your level. What piece of advice would you give them as they're entering their high school years?
I'd definitely tell them to never give up and never stop trying. And I know that sounds cheesy and pretty generic, but from my own experience, I've always been a smaller person. I'm 5'8". I'm only 150 pounds, and that's now that I'm already all grown up. And I've been seeing people who were younger than me, way younger than me even now, like big, 6 foot, really buff, really like athletic and strong. And, I see that and I think, wow, like, but before I used to think, wow, I really have no chance against this guy. This guy's huge. He's strong. But really, 4 years, even from before that, but specifically these 4 years, I've really been working my butt off to become great and become the best. And I can beat those guys. And that goes to show, even if you see these people doing such great things, even looking like as strong and as athletic, like you can still beat them. You can still be better than them. You can still be faster. You can still jump higher or farther. You can still throw farther. So, I think that's something that really dissuades a lot of young athletes, just seeing a lot more athletic looking people, or people who just genetically are a little more tuned towards that kind of stuff. But really just hard work really overtakes talent. And that's something I think everyone should keep in mind.
Luis, I think that's great. You called yourself, a littler guy, 5'8", $150, but you are an absolute beast on the track from what I've seen. And so don't discount yourself at all, because you are special to watch out there. It takes a lot of work to get to this point. You've obviously fulfilled this dream, but I'm sure you've had a lot of people help you along the way. I'm going to give you the floor here. And is there anybody that you would like to thank for helping you in this journey?
Oh, there's a lot of people I would love to thank, but if I had to pick one, most definitely, I think it'd be my dad. He has been with me every step of the way. He's the one that got me into track. He's the one that started, taking me out and helping me train. He started coaching me from the very beginning, before I had even an actual coach. In elementary school, they don't really have a coach. And then before we tried getting into some, track clubs and even doing some stuff in the summer for like AAU, USATF. And I never really had one consistent coach, but it was always him that was behind me and pushing me to be my best and coming up with all these workouts. In fact, this year, it's been a very busy year for everyone. Coach Lonsinger is retiring, and he's trying to, not only is he trying to manage this team this year, but he's also trying to train the next coaches that are coming in. And he's been a little busy, and it's been my dad that's really been coming up with all the workouts and all the plans and everything I should be doing throughout the week to prepare for my next meets and to help me improve. And that's one thing that I think has helped me the most, is to have him really working to help me improve as well. Because one thing I've noticed is that someone's personality really reflects in the way that they not only just run, but in the way that they do everything. And I think it's helped to have him really focus not only on me running, but me as a person. He knows me. I'm his son. I live with him, you know? And so he knows if there's something that I need to improve. Not only does he know what I need to improve on the track, he knows what I need to improve off the track and what could be the reason why. And so he just designs these workouts that are perfectly designed specifically for me. I mean, they could work for any athlete, and they have, but he designs them for me. And that's really, I love that.
That's really cool to hear. Really cool to hear. So congratulations again on your athletic signing, and good luck at Cal Poly Pomona. I can't wait to see what you do there in both school and athletics. We're all lucky to be around you at your time here, Luis, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you to Luis for joining me. And on a side note, after this interview was completed, Luis went up to Buchanan High School in the CIF Central Section Division I meet, slang term the Valley Championships, and won 2 events. So he is a multi-event Valley champion, Division I section champion in the 110-meter hurdles and the 300-meter hurdles. Pretty awesome and well-deserved. Congratulations, Luis. Mustang family, if you want to see more of these videos or even our last video with our interview with Justin Greer, click right here. If you want to subscribe to our channel and be notified of all our videos, go ahead and click right here. We'll see you soon, Mustangs.